What's good with y'all boys? Welcome back to my Draw With Me series. Today we got green, we got blue, and we got red going on. And essentially what we do is we're drawing on these full page sticker pads and then posting that shit on eBay. Today we're back outside again. I don't know how many times in a row for recording, but I think during the day, if I could be outside and there's gonna be no interruptions, shit, I'll take it, cause it's a lot more entertaining recording out here than inside, you know. I think being outside is just my natural element. It's a lot more soothing, I guess. Anyways, today I want to talk about taking a break. The topic of discussion is going to be taking a break. I think for anybody that's doing anything and trying to be successful at it, they'll do it a lot. Sometimes even going past, a limit that their body usually knows. And burnout and being bored is gonna happen. I think it's normal to take a break, especially today's generation and time. It's kind of normalized, and that's a good thing, because having a good work ethic is very, very valuable. And not everybody does have a good work ethic. Like they want to work for what they have, or they want to earn what they want, basically. And not everybody's like that, built like that. But as said before, taking a break is gonna be needed sometimes, And on the path to your own success could be a little lonely and confusing. Doesn't mean it's not working out. It could feel like that 90% of the time, that it's just not working out. Doesn't mean it's right. Because if it did feel that way, then why the hell are you still doing it? Maybe it's time to do something else, right? But it makes you, it makes you feel like you're doing something good. Like, this isn't for nothing, basically. What you're doing isn't for nothing. And I think if it feels that way, then that's a good sign, because it means you're really, doing something, you're creating something. Last night I got back on the game, and within the past week I've gotten on a few times before last night too. But I really feel like I kind of put that to the side and try to do some more real life things, some more real life progression. I feel that way. Maybe it might seem like that way on the outside, but for me, personal experience, and I feel like the choices I've been making by myself, when I am by myself, have been a lot better than what they have been. And it's not 100% correct just yet. I'm still gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen. I'll be the first to admit it. Won't be the last. But I'm not perfect, and I'm gonna fuck up. And there's gonna be a lot more errors in my life that I make, personal decisions. But when I was playing this game, there's just like these achievements, these challenges I've been trying to do. They're not hard, not at all. They're just really repetitive. You know, the games could bug out, and it takes a little bit longer than what you really need to be, than what it should have, you know. And what made it even more training was, you know, as I was doing this, I found a way to just be able to, I got so used to it that I was able to just scroll on my phone and, you know, on the corner of my eye, just look. And afterwards it didn't feel good because I know I'm consuming a lot more shit that I just don't need to. I'm not living in the moment, essentially. And well, I've been this game though. It's the game. I finished it, and it took a while because I wasn't just sitting on the game for hours at a time. I'd play at least an hour or maybe an hour and a half, and then just kind of call it, and get off and do something else. Come back the next day or something, or for a few days I wasn't touching the game or trying to do anything on that. So I took a break, you know, and I came back, knocked out the rest of it, and it seemed like I was able to do these final challenges, these final requirements a lot quicker than what it probably would have done, you know, before I had taken the break. I think it's normal, you know, to want to just kind of lay down and take a moment. Now to me, taking a break from something don't necessarily mean not doing nothing. Because even on, you know, a person's laziest days, I feel like they could still have the enthusiasm to want to do something, still do something. And as long as it's productive and it's not like, you know, consuming, I think I think you're still playing your part in, you know, making the world a better place, you know. 'Cause let's say like someone's like biggest hobby is like to write. You know, they write and they write and they write. That's what they like to do. They write about anything. They write so much that it just becomes like they write about anything, right? They write music, they write about their day, they write about their emotions. You know, the things they see, the things they interest them. You know, I think you know, eventually, depending on the person, whether they decide to show it off or not, or when the time comes and somebody eventually, you know, goes through their things and they see what they've done with their time, their personal time, you know, it could influence that mind that's reading it, you know. That shit could go published, you know. Their writings could be a book. That's how, you know, authors are authors, you know, and that's how, you know, pretty big or popular known author is a pretty popular big known author. They've done it so much, they've gotten so good at it. You know, they gotta, you know, they busted their ass to get good. Doesn't, you know, mean that 100% of the time, every day that they were doing it, they probably got bored and tired and went through the emotions just as much as the next man trying to come up, the next, you know, woman. You can't underestimate the power of taking a break, and you can't criticize yourself for wanting to take one. Shit, I listen to a lot of music, bruh. I listen to a lot of music that talks about, you know, I didn't take breaks. I didn't, you know, I didn't sleep. Shit like that. When I was a few years younger, I kind of believe that's the way to do it. You know, I believe that's the way, like, that's the way to success. You know, that's how it'll happen, and that's how it'll happen quicker. I mean, maybe, but they're also maybe chasing the wrong things. You know, what is success in $1 million if you're not even satisfied with it? Because, you know, more is the issue. You know, you already have so much money. That's more money. You know, $1 million is more money than most people are ever gonna see it in one moment. You know, or even have accumulated in their lifetime. You know, but those same people that have the $1 million still feel like it's not enough. They gotta have more. Whether they're good with spending or whatever, you know, just need something to. Whether they're good with, you know, the habit of, you know, like, it could be one of two things. It's like they're really bad at spending. I mean, like, they see nice things, they see shiny things, and they instantly buy it. You know, pretty normal for a lot of people with a lot of money that probably didn't have it before. Or they just feel like they need it, you know, they need more just so they have something to fall back on, or, you know, kind of scared to be back in that same position. I feel like for me personally, if I was making a lot of money and there was a lot more to be made, bigger opportunities coming, I feel like the option I would fall in, the category I would fall in towards, is being scared to fall back into, you know, my old reality, my old ways of how I used to live, you know, or how I do live currently. It don't feel right being, you know, being a man and, you know, not being able to provide, whether you got a family or of your own or not. I mean, maybe not every man feels that way. Maybe they're alright with, you know, leeching off others. I feel like to the right man, it don't feel right. It don't feel good in the slightest. Especially as you grow up more and more every day. You know, every day that passes you by is, you know, another day that you're getting older. Everybody, even babies, you know. Except kids and babies, they got less to worry about. They just gotta be alive. And kids, they gotta just go to school and be good. But when you're an adult, you have a lot more to think about. Meaning, you have a lot more worrying you. When in reality, like, that's really not what we're here for, you know? Like, shit like that shouldn't be worrying anybody, but it does, because for a variety of reasons. You care too much, or maybe you care too little, I guess, I don't know. I know a lot of people that you know, they work. I know a lot of people that work, but they don't got like hobbies or things that they do that are probably like pretty good to put their time to. I think playing games, watching movies, watching sports, that's a hobby. I feel like that's personally a hobby. Personally, I feel like that, and it could be good, you know, if you're balancing it out. Like, I feel like if you work, you deserve that, you know, if that's what you want to do. If you want to play the game, if you want to enjoy the Sunday on the, you know, watching the games, whatever, bro. The weekends, shit, and it's not my life. I think it's a good thing to enjoy yourself when you earned it. It's a little bit different when you probably haven't earned it. Now, same thing, I'm gonna say, like, that ain't none of my business. So I couldn't really tell you what to do or what, you know, I'm not God. I can't judge you, I don't give a fuck. It's none of my business. But it doesn't mean, like, there's not the possibility, you know, I mean, if you want to take it that far, you could, you know, turn that stuff into a job, you know. I'm sure sports commentators and all that shit, they watch sports and they watch old, you know, they go on YouTube and watch old highlights, you know, all day. You know, anything that's sports, that's probably why they're so, you know, that's why they're the ones to commentate over the Super Bowl games or the finals, NBA finals or World Series, baseball series. Because they just know so much about the game. They done did their research and they still continue to learn. Now, don't get me wrong, I think it's good to have enthusiasm and have motivation and drive and take action. You don't have motivation if you don't take action. Pretty standard. But to, you know, to rob yourself of, you know, human experiences, sometimes, you know, sometimes you really do gotta get that rest, and you really gotta, you know, take a moment and you know, take a step back, because when you do something for so long, it could, you know, yeah, it you know, burnout's gonna be really common. It's gonna be a real possibility. I remember when I was in school, one of the questions they, like, for my new class, they said, give us some questions so we could have all the teachers answer them, because they would have like the whole fucking building come and introduce themselves, the whole staff. And I guess one of the people in my class had said, they said, ask them how do you deal with burnout? And I don't know why, but I just remember it so clearly. Like, there was this lady that came in, and you could tell this lady had a lot of like fucking attitude, ego to her. She was just, I don't know, you just look at this lady, to me, that's not the type of person I fucking like to be around. But whatever, I wasn't around her, so I didn't give a fuck. She came in, she's like, well, if this is something you love, you'll never get burnt out. Well, I don't know about all that. I don't know. Because you do that shit every day. You do that shit all day, every day. And a few years pass. A lot of years pass. I mean, I'm pretty sure you're gonna want to take a break. I'm pretty sure you're gonna feel very tired, you know. Is this, you know, you're gonna start to question yourself. Is this really all I was supposed to do, you know, in my life? Is this really it? Nah, not really. But You know, there's a lot more you could do, and maybe you just gotta take a moment from your career. Take a moment from what you're doing all day and just really think about it. That's a normal feeling. You know, I mean, I disagree with the statement of, you know, you really love it, you won't feel that way. Just because, like, if you really love it, you will feel that way, because that means you were doing it so much. Shit, bro. I don't even know what the fuck I'm gonna put. Bro. But I think it's pretty good to know, like, the difference between taking a break and then just being lazy, you know? Because like I said, like, you could take a break from something and still be doing something else just as productive. You know, that's what vacation is. Like that word's not a word because, you know, of burnout. And like I say, like, you could be doing something and then you go to, like, you know, you just write or you take a walk or something that helps you. Doesn't gotta always, you know, productive doesn't always have to mean you're doing something exactly for the world, you know? Because if you take a walk, you're burning that energy, you're getting rid of those negative thoughts, and you're clearing your mind. If you write, same thing, just minus the physical exercise, physicality of it. And, you know, taking a walk doesn't entirely, like I said, like, influence the world, but you probably, you know, you could probably think that, but you could also be fucking wrong, bro. Because let's say you take a walk. Let's say you take a walk every day, and you got a car passing you by, and that's it. You know, that's like the only real social interaction throughout that whole walk. A car passes you by. You look at the people or you don't. They got dark ass tints, so you don't even see if it's a man or a woman. Who cares? Pretty useless information to know anyways, right? Who gives a fuck? Anyways, they could be thinking, oh, look at that person taking a walk. You know, maybe they're an attractive person. You know, look at them taking that walk. Whatever. I don't fucking know. Or there's, you know, your neighbors. You're walking through a neighborhood. You take a walk every day for a while, for a week. Let's just give it a week. You know, you gotta leave one way of the neighborhood to get out, or the other way. Or maybe there's just one way, right? You just gotta leave the neighborhood, right, to get out. And you have to pass by the same houses, and you have to pass by them again when you're trying to go back to your house. So somebody's probably seeing you, whether they're out in their front yard or they're not. You know, you don't know if they're looking out through the window and they just happen to catch a glimpse of you. And basically what I'm trying to get at is you don't know how that could influence their mind and impact them. oh, look at that person, I see them all the time. I wonder if they live down the street. And another week passes by, oh yeah, they do live down the street. In a way, I'm seeing them all the time. Or they live close by. You don't gotta be, down the street, you can be close by. Whatever, right? The neighbor, now they start calling you the neighbor or some shit, I don't fucking know. And that could be influencing, but it's also, you wouldn't think about that. It's also more of, you're doing it for yourself. I'm not trying to influence nobody, I'm just trying to get outside and take a walk, I need to see the sunlight needs to see my skin. I need to, clear my mind, I need to get shit off my brain. Feel me? Cool. Ain't no worries. Shit. Not everything that's done needs to be for other people. That's how you, really drain yourself. That's how you really get burnt out. And, I think that's the simplest form of influence. It's, it's helping one way or another, but it's probably helping you more than it's helping anybody else. Now it's on that person to take their own walks, move their own bodies. The more and more you do it, the more and more, without even trying, somebody's influenced by it, inspired, and the easier it becomes on you. Damn, work was really burning me out. So I'd take a week off of work, and now I'm taking a walk every day. That shit feels good because it's only like 10 minutes. I want to do more, I come back home feeling like I want to do some more walking. And I think it's beneficial, to notice and be honest with yourself. If you can't be honest with yourself, you won't be able to be honest with nobody else. You're gonna tell some white lies, is what it's called, is, simple things like stupid shit you didn't fucking need to lie about. Like, what's the point of lying? There's no benefit, and there's no, you don't gain nothing, you don't lose nothing, really. That's what it is. But you lied, so now it's like the trust is like kind of hurt, broken. Just because you couldn't be honest with yourself that you had an issue, like you needed a break. You needed a moment to step back. And honestly, if whatever it is, a relationship, a job, career, hobby, people that do the same hobby as you got a little group going, say, hey, this shit's not, intriguing me right now. Maybe you got something going on, like, personal issues or emotions. I gotta take a break where I gotta spend some time alone, or spend some time, raising my kid, be at home. I gotta be at home a lot more right now. Depending on their reaction, shows you what you need to know. If they give way too much of a fuck about it and they start getting upset, then that's how you know you probably start doing that shit on your own. When the time is right to start doing it again, you do it on your own. I don't need a group to take a bike ride. I don't need a group to, run or whatever. I mean, it's a little bit harder. Yeah, you can't necessarily be like, well, I'm just gonna quit this job and I got a kid, you know. I mean, you still could, but it'd probably be a lot more to figure out, you know. It could be a lot more on your mind. Now you gotta really figure something out. Whatever the case is, you know, just be honest with yourself, be truthful. When it's time, it's time. Because nobody knows you better than you, you know. Maybe there's other people that know you better than you, and there's really, really important people. I think that it's a really healthy relationship. That's what matters a lot too in life. I agree with the fact that like the right things wouldn't drain you, relationships and all that, career, but you're still gonna feel like exhausted or drained, whatever. You're gonna need that time alone still. You're still an individual. Maybe that's what that lady meant. She just comes off a lot of shit that I don't, I'd rather not be around. Nah. A lot of hell nah. So it's a lot of hell nah. I'm cool. I don't even care to be your friend. I don't want to know your name. Type of shit. So maybe that's what she meant. I just took it the wrong way. I think about it now. That's alright. I'm alright with being wrong. I'm alright with being right. You know, there's winning, there's losing. It's gonna happen, both. Alright, so during a moment in time recently, these past few days, I did have like a thought of like a drawing that I kind of wanted to do. So this is me trying to like recreate that image. And well, it's alright. I mean, this little outline right here, it's kind of what I was thinking and picturing, but kind of not. I think I was going for like more of like a face. Like this is like kind of like a cloud or some shit with a stem, I guess. I'm pretty sure it'll look pretty nice. I'm not saying it's looking bad or nothing. For my personal experience, like taking a break, like I remember when I first started drawing, and I would kind of like not want to do it because I was too afraid of making a mistake. So I thought about every line, I thought about everything, so much so that I really took my time in between drawings. Like now it's like it just kind of like second nature, right? Like I'm just drawing this shit. If I fuck up, it's alright. I mean, I'm gonna fuck up again. There's no way around that. Like these lines are not gonna be anywhere near perfect, cause I'm nowhere near perfect. I'm alright with that. Like I said, like I'm gonna fuck up a million more times on a drawing. You know, who knows? I I could be in a competition one day. I don't know, draw the best shit ever. $1 million online or some shit. I don't fucking know. Something stupid, right? I'm gonna fuck up in that shit too, bruh. There's no way around it, bruh. But the difference from current me and past me when I was 17 is that, you know, maybe I just feel like I'm trying a lot less now. Like, I'm not, you know, stressing myself out, you know. I just want to draw and I just want to put lines on paper. I want to create something that wasn't there before, because this was a blank piece of paper before. You know, there wasn't blue lines on it and shading and line, you know, cloud looking figure with the stem through it before, you know, like 40 minutes before or some shit like that. It was a blank piece of paper sitting in the drawer for the past like 2.5, 3 months. Anyways, I think when you get to that point, that's when you start to really build skill. You know you're gonna mess up, but you don't care. It's gonna happen. You're so, you know, I don't like to fucking be whatever about how far I've come, but I do notice that it's taking a long time to just be like, bruh, is you know, I'm gonna fuck up, bruh, and I'm not gonna like every fucking drawing that I make, everything that I make. That's alright, I can live with that. Cause, you know, I'm gonna make another one, and there's gonna be one that's way better than this. There's gonna be one that I eventually have a wall to hang up on or hang it up on. You know, that's the one I really like. That one stood out to me so much. That one, nah, I didn't really like it. Whatever, right? Doesn't matter. I just do it to do it, make it, you know, create it. And anyways, like, there was like a moment, like a pause, like between every drawing. Like, I'd make one back then, and it'd be so like, it'd take a while, and nothing wrong with that, you know. It's just beginning, starting to draw, starting a new hobby. And after, you know, some time passes by, I kind of look back at all my drawings. I would look back on them, and I would like, excuse me, I would like try to like recreate it, because I would see them and I'm like, damn, those are like my best pieces of work ever. Like, I don't make no shit like that no more. And I would, you know, get to myself so much that I'd be demotivated. I wouldn't draw, or I'd really like stress myself out about trying to, you know, create that perfect picture again. Like, maybe I gotta do it like this, or I was so caught up in like this new way that I was doing it, that I wasn't implementing like those old ways anymore. I was trying too hard to figure out how I did it like that, and I kind of moved on, you know. Like, that was what I criticized the most, ended up being my best work, and the work that I still look at and, you know, seeing is like the best. You know, I think of that shit and I'm like, man, I'm not creating nothing like that no more. Frankly, I probably don't even fucking know how to make no shit like that no more. I just know how to do it like this, and that's it. Like, I'm not saying I couldn't, but I just know, like, I'd be thinking about it too hard, that it wouldn't ever be like that no more. It could never, you know, be as perfect as it once was. But in the moment, when I was living through it, it didn't feel that way. It felt like that shit should have been fucking trashed. It felt like that shit was kind of meaningless, you know? I was creating this and I wasn't happy with it. So anyways, you know, from my personal experience, I took a break and I came back, and I mean, there's been a few times I've kind of like paused, I've stopped drawing or whatever, right? But there's also been like at least a few times where I've just like kind of taken a break. I'm like, man, I'm done, bro. Like, I'm not gonna draw right now. I don't want to do that. I mean, I feel tired from the thought of picking up a pen and trying to draw right now. But after like a long time, right? It's been like lately I've been feeling like I don't know, like it's been kind of like how it used to be. And sure, maybe a lot has changed in the personal life of my own, but the thoughts and like the drawing wise, like I'll sit there and I'll start kind of like fantasizing a lot about a lot of things, or thinking, you know, kind of like how I used to at the desk, you know, different physical like circumstances, that's the word. You know, I'm not in the room that I used to call my own no more, or like a kind of quiet space or whatever, dealing, you know, a little bit different challenges, whatever, right? But I also don't feel like I'm trying to like recreate what I once made. I think it's just, I see this and, or you know, I look at, I mean, I haven't looked back on old pictures or the old sketchbooks in a while, but I'm like, I think the biggest thing was like taking my time, you know. I know I've over time, like since from starting to like now, I've struggled with like kind of doing things that take a moment to be done, taking my time, you know. I kind of always just wanted to have shit done or have shit right away, you know. And I've kind of learned like it's alright not to. I mean, I think with this, honestly, too, like I think these drawings are a lot different than the ones in my current sketchbook, because like I don't want the videos to be like fucking like 5 hours, like 2 hours. So I know I definitely do still kind of like rush a lot in like these drawings. But I'm trying to get at like it, you know, it takes time to make nice things, for good things. Look, bro, I'm gonna be honest, I'm nowhere near professional. I don't claim to be, not at all, but I think professionals, you know, still even see themselves as like, they could at least a humble one, could still see like themselves as like, man, I gotta improve on that. And they don't care about what they've just done to succeed. Like I think when I say this, like my biggest like thought is like Nikola Jokic on the Denver Nuggets. Shit, bro, that's my favorite player right there. I've been going back and forth with my dad recently. Like, if they could take it all the way again, because I've only just started watching sports in the past 2 years, so I didn't get to really experience when they won back in 2023. But I told them, I said if they could take it all the way again, and because I'm paying attention now, so if they take it all the way again, you know, I think that's my team right there. Because I like Nikola Jokic a lot, just because you know, him as a person, you know. Let's say he makes a fucking 3-pointer, or he scores, right? He drives in and there's bodies blocking him. He drives in, he scores, whatever the circumstances. He don't start jumping and hollering, you know, pointing the middle finger and all that shit. He runs his fucking big ass to the fucking other side of the court. Big ass fucking guy. And he's over there in a matter of seconds. He's ready to defend now. I think to me that's humility. To be humble, you gotta be, you know, you gotta know how to give and take rejection, basically, like humility. I think that's how you say that word. Like, he knows it's alright to fail, but doesn't mean like that's it. Like you think of football, you know, let's say Nikola Jokic was a football player or some shit. Like you ain't even gotta take him. You just take the mentality of him. You take the mentality of Nikola Jokic, and you take it to somebody else on the football field, the football league, the NFL. And let's say someone else has that same mentality as Nikola Jokic, that humility, that humble, you know, they just gotta work. They score and that's it. They don't gotta fucking point the middle, you know, they don't gotta act out. And let's say it's coming around playoff season, it's November, so every game's a little bit more serious. It's playoff season time now, January, 7th seed. Alright, well, we're not division leaders, but we're still in, you know, we still have a chance. Everybody, all 7 teams of the conference, all 7 teams on each conference have a chance. All 14 teams have a chance, you know, to take it home and hoist up the Lombardi Trophy. But just because you're number 7 don't mean you're counted out. It just means you gotta work a little harder during that now. You know, you had your chances, but it didn't work out that way. That's alright, you know. Depending on you, that's if you fucking want to cry about it, whatever. But you're still given a chance. So if you're gonna cry about it, that's, you know, wasting energy, bruh. That's pretty pointless and pretty dumb, in my opinion. Don't do that shit, you know. Or if you have to, I'm not saying it's wrong. My bad. If you have to, don't carry it. Let it go, you know. Do it. Cry, and you know, get out of your system, because like I said, you still have the opportunity just as much as, you know, the top of the division, the top of the seed, the number 1 seed. Because you think about it, 2024 season, the Lions. Oh my goodness, bro. The fucking Lions. The Lions. They have been ruling the league too these past few years. I don't think they made the playoffs this year, 2025-2026 season. No, I don't think they did. They just missed it. But 2024-2025 season, top of the seed, number 1 NFC seed. And they come back, division round, and they lose. They lose, bruh. They had just as much opportunity as the 7th seed. And they lose that shit. What I'm trying to get at is that everybody has an equal amount of opportunity. That's on them to take it serious or not. Feel me? And I could understand differences and all that shit, whatever. I go through that same stuff too. Try my best, you know. I think it's just all about trying your best. You show up and you just try your best. Sure, everybody wants to win. And it could be a little bit harder to say, oh, as long as we had fun. When you work that hard to make it that far, just to have fun now, or just to throw it away just because you wanted to have fun and not try 100%. I get it though. Look, bro, all you could do is worry about yourself. You know? When I watched the Denver Nuggets play, all it looks like recently is Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic. It looks like these guys are playing 2v5. Doesn't mean that their other teammates are bad. It just doesn't look like they're there sometimes. And I know Christian Braun's on, you know, way better on. I mean, he's good offense, hell yeah, but he's probably better defense, I think. I think he's way better defense. But I think with their mindsets, they understand that, you know, not everybody's on the same level as you, skill-wise, but that you're not better than them, and you're not worse than them. You know, maybe you're better at shooting, you know, maybe they're better at shooting the ball and you're better at not shooting the ball, you know, grabbing a rebound or blocking a layup. Not everybody could do certain things that other people can. That makes sense. But they're not better than you or not worse than you as a person. And that's what makes, I think that's why they're able to win you know, a vast majority of their games. Or, well, I know their win-loss ratio is damn near tied up. It's damn near even, but they still have a winning ratio, right? So I think, you know, they're able to understand that. To know and recognize that it takes more than just, you know, stressing your teammates out and, you know, criticizing everybody but yourself. But with sports, it's a little bit different because, you know, it's a lot more contact. I mean, you're not going to be in an art competition and having to, you know, put your body on the line to drive in through, you know, two guys blocking you, putting their bodies on the line to stop you to doing a damn layup. I mean, you're right, that wouldn't make sense, but so, you know, with sports it's a little bit different because, you know, you got people out to injuries, but I don't know. I always kind of, after a while, like, I kind of started to feel like people started stressing that shit too much. Like, oh, our star player's out, or damn, they're not gonna, do too much now. Like, I think they're counting out the players that they don't know, the players that are on the team but don't have as much field, play time, and they don't have their name as popular as, their star players. That's alright. I mean, it doesn't mean they're bad. Not 100% of the time. I think it just means that, it'll probably be a little bit more boring to watch because you don't know who this is. That's alright. It gives you the opportunity to learn, Not everyone's going to be bored of that shit, though. They're just watching to watch. The more that they do, the more that, the commentators say their name, the more that somebody is saying their name. And when somebody keeps repeating somebody's name, because of how well they're doing, how much effort they're putting in, it stands out. Next thing you know, that's the next star player. That's the starting lineup, He's in starting 5, or he's on the field when it's time to start the game. Out there every play. That's how the next, stars are born. Because behind the scenes, they're putting up their shots, and they're, working out their bodies and moving and all that shit, whatever. They're getting better. They're getting better to improve and taking it serious. Maybe that's what that team needed. To give recognition, That's just how it's done. So you think back to like before, a star player is a star player and his name is so popular. Nobody knew him before. Sure, he's in the league, or sure, he's like, some people know him or whatever, he's local, whatever the case is. But on draft night, not everybody's cheering their name, or some people even booing, right? Like, next thing you know, that's like the face of the franchise, essentially. Like, he's like I've seen like that one guy, like there's like a clip of like this one guy, he's a Chiefs fan. He's all, when Patrick Mahomes got drafted, he's talking about like, oh, this is why this team's never like gonna win a Super Bowl in my lifetime. He said some shit like that. And that was draft night, when he got drafted, like 7-8 years ago now. But you look at it now, that man's won like 4 rings or something, right? I don't know. He's won a lot. Damn near like most hated now, just because how much he is winning. Something like that. He was given his opportunity to, and he took it. But before he was even known, he had people that didn't even know him down him already. They didn't want to see a star player. They didn't want to see a new player. They were so used to what they already had. Anyways, that's what I got. I appreciate y'all for watching.